Okay, we're good to go.
Very good. Buenas, everybody. This meeting is called to order. It's June 12th, Wednesday, 2024. It's now 2:09 p.m. In compliance with Public Law 24-109, Guam Ancestral Lands Commission published a public meeting announcement for Thursday, May 30th, 2024 in the Guam Daily Post on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024, and Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. Public notice was also posted in the Government of Guam Public Notice Portal and the GALC website. Let's have a roll call. Joey? You're on mute.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Ronald F. Eclavea, Chairman.
Present.
Ronald T. Laguatnia, Vice Chair. Okay, he's raising his hand.
Raising his hand.
Yes.
Maria G. Cruz, Secretary Treasurer.
Present.
Anita F. Orlino, Commissioner.
Here.
And lastly, Jeffrey B. Rios, Commissioner.
Present.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Joey.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move to the approval of minutes of April 10, 2024.
Mr. Chair, just wanted to acknowledge the AAG Attorney Miller's online now.
Okay, very good. Welcome, legal counsel. Welcome.
Thank you. Off a day, Kathy.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, Commissioner Cruz?
Like to make, my motion is to approve the regular meeting minutes on April 10, 2024, subject to corrections per audio recording.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes of April 10, 2024. We have a second?
I'll second that one.
Okay, second by Commissioner Lino. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, no nays. Joey, motion passes.
Yes, Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioners.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Vice
just
Chair?
just to make sure we're following the, we're on live. Please make sure that when it's seconded, after that, it's open for discussion. No discussion, then you call for the vote.
Yes, you're right. Very good. Sujeet Masida, Vice Chair,
Thank you.
you're correct.
Okay.
But it's still good to go, Joey. We're still good to go.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move to Executive Director's Report.
Today, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Able to
First, I'd like to introduce our new employees, and that is Peter Moffness. He's our administrative aide coming from the Department of Labor. And then we have Miss Gina Tanatongo. She is our administrative assistant. After we hired her May 13th after the retirement of our former administrative assistant, Teresa Tapachnia.
All right, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
And then our FY22 audit status. At the time of this meeting, our audit reports came in from EY, but the final report was not submitted at the time. But everybody knows it was already advertised in the newspaper that our audit is complete and we had a clean audit for FY 2022.
Yay.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Okay, our FY25 budget submission was given to the Office of Finance and Budget on May 15th. We have not received official notification from the Office of Finance and Budget on when our budget hearing would take place or if we are going to have a budget meeting with the Office of Senator San Augustine. I also sent on a separate email proposals for investment opportunities from BGIS and Raymond James. We had an investment meeting on May 8th. And at that time, our investments were being reviewed by BGIS and Raymond James. And both services came back with reports that our investments are good. Our current investment statuses are good. And that they have some concerns regarding the expected interest rate cuts in CDs. As a result of that, and based on their concerns, I requested for each of them to submit their proposals and recommendations for the board to review and possibly consider. I sent everybody that email, and then if you would like, we can go ahead and schedule a meeting or working session with them upon your request. Also this year, our summer youth employment program, we went on ahead and we signed up for the summer youth employment program again this year. And we requested for 3 to 4 participants. The main project this summer will be to scan as much of our John Bond land claim files for digitization, which will tie into the grant that we got with the TAP grant. Okay, that concludes my report. I thank you for the opportunity to present the update. If you have any questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Any questions for Kathy?
I do.
Okay, Vice Chair.
Kat, how come we weren't notified that our employee retired?
Teresa is a very private individual,
Okay.
and she did not want
Okay.
anyone to know of her retirement.
Okay, well,
She-
give her our regards. Congratulations, you know. We should have at least given her, have you guys given her a an honorary, I mean, a certificate of at least of service from us? You know, I think that
no,
she deserves that.
Yes, sir, but what do you call that? At the time, Mr. Birch was still out on medical leave, but we can go ahead and certainly do that and maybe schedule something with Teresa
Yeah, ask her. Yeah.
and then
You know what you
just
do?
invite
Ask
her
her.
back.
Yeah. And you know what? It would be nice if you ask her. You know, that's an honorable thing, you know.
Mhm.
How many years of service? How many years of service did she retire with?
If I'm
Over
not
30,
mistaken,
right?
it was 38 years of service,
Yeah,
38,
see?
32, something to that effect.
Yeah. And you know, does the front office have been notified with this matter?
Yes,
Very
sir.
important. Okay, yeah. You know, it should be an honorable thing that would be done through the governor, lieutenant governor, and we do an official retirement presentation for her. Whether you know, it's just a noble thing to do, and you know they do that for all government employees. But most particular in her case, she's got 38 years. That's a incredible amount of service for the people of Guam. So just let her know if she doesn't, you know, appreciate at least get get its certificate of retirement from the governor and the director, and then you know just you guys present it to her. But something of that nature, and it's so important, you know.
Okay,
We
I,
value our people. Just ask
Yes.
her. Just
Yes,
say
sir.
that the
I'll-
board. Yeah,
Yes.
just tell her, Kathy, that the board, you know, was concerned of the matter and that we want to treat all our government employees with their due service to the government and to the people of Guam. It's very important that they get some recognition. Okay, just
Okay.
let her know that. And number two,
Okay, and
what
it's
is
30 years.
Okay, wow. And what is the status of our director? Is he any update on his situation?
Mr. Birch is still out sick. He's now going through the next phase. He's been referred to a specialist. And
Okay.
that's all we know at the
Okay.
time. Yes, at this
So
moment,
he's- so he's-
that's all we can.
Okay, so he is on sick leave.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what we want to know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Give him our same
You're
as well again. Give him our regards again that we're concerned of his condition, and we just would like to notify him that we are concerned.
Yes,
We're
sir.
thinking of praying for him. Okay, for his
Yes,
I,
sir.
I
For
like,
his wellness.
I like to add something to that. He did get a hold of me and gave me an update, a few days ago. Apparently, he was about to go through an operation and the doctor delayed it, for some reason. So apparently they're gonna consult, each other regarding his operation. And, he did say that, he's gonna be out at least a few more weeks. So I did give him our regard and I did wish him well.
Right on. Thank you. Very good. You know, I know it's private, but still, it's just us as we're a whole entire team here, and we're concerned.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm sure he wanted me to relay that to the board. So he did get a cancellation on an operation, so that they can confer some more, I guess. Okay, any further? Oh, by the way, Kat, can you go ahead and schedule? Maybe we should do a special meeting with the investment, with the investment group.
Yes, sir.
Schedule
Yes,
the
sir.
investment meeting and then let's coordinate with everybody on a good time. Then we can discuss it with them and make a decision.
Sir,
Okay,
did you
and-
want to meet with them? Does the board want to meet with them separately, or did you guys want to meet with them on the same day but at 2 different times?
Oh, you mean not both at the same time, the 2 different investment committees separately?
Yes, sir. Because that's how they normally do it. One will present first and then the second one will present after. So normally it's like 10:30 we would meet with BGIS and then like 11:30 we would meet with Raymond James. So we
Okay,
can have
yes,
it on
very,
the same day.
yes, very good. Let's do it.
Okay, yes, sir.
Question. I have a
Yes, sir.
question, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair,
Vice Chair?
would that be considered a work session or a meeting?
I think it's just a special meeting.
Okay,
It's
That's
open to
it.
the public
Yeah,
and then they're
that-
gonna
that-
present
that-
to us, yeah, they're
Yes,
gonna
I-
present to us options. Okay,
I would prefer that. Thank you.
yes, special,
And then do again the open government law.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions for Kathy on the director's report?
I don't have
Okay, no
one.
further okay, no further questions. I would like to move up Gita's progress report. I'm sorry, move up number 6, Old Business Northern Market for consideration for Commissioner Lino. She's actually back in the States right now on the East Coast and she's not feeling well. So I'd like to go ahead and move with that so that maybe she could be excused after that presentation.
Mr. Chair, I
Yes,
don't know if let's be clear on this, Attorney Miller. If you can just chime in on this, is it best that we move to amend the agenda and then to move it up and then approve it and then move forward once it's approved, right, Attorney Miller? The appropriate way to do that?
Mr. Chairman, members, if customarily, the chair has the discretion over the order of the agenda. If particular members have a preference as to taking agenda items in a different order than the chair, now would be the time to express it. But in the absence of any objection, we don't need to vote on taking the item out of order.
Okay, then very well. But then we'll proceed with the chairman's request. Okay, that's all we wanted to clarify.
okay, of course, if everybody's okay with that, I'm just concerned with Commissioner Lino. She's not feeling well.
Okay,
So we're good?
we're
Everybody's
good.
okay?
Yes,
Okay, so we're gonna move item number 5 down to number 6 and move old business up to number 5. So we're gonna hit with Northern Market Counter Proposal A, Northern Market Counter Proposal Continuance. Okay, Gita?
Hey, commissioners, this is Diego Mendiola from GITA. I'm here to present the update to the Northern Market. As you will have seen in your board packets, with the regular GITA report, the draft amendment or the proposed amendment for the Northern Market lease was provided, as well as an analysis from GITA on the amendment. In a nutshell, right now, the amendment says that Northern Market is going to affirm its current liability to date as 1.9 million. They are requesting for an extended deferment of 37 months, at which time the total deferment with interest will be approximately 2.9 million. In consideration for the board's approval, Northern Market agrees to resume monthly lease rent payments in 2027 to include all of any established increases in their lease that is tied to fair market value. As well, they are also offering to increase their participation rent from 2.5% of gross to 50% of net profit, with no less than 15,000 per month, whichever is higher, for the remaining life of the lease. And the lease initial term to end is in 2064. So, in our last meeting that we discussed this, the previous offer was just 50% of net profit. However, GITA was able to go back and forth with Northern Market to establish a sort of a floor to this additional monthly rent. and that floor has gone from 5,000 to 10,000 to 15,000 per month. And so with that, that's where we are right now. In our analysis provided to you in the packet, as requested, the board asked for pros and cons of accepting or not accepting Northern Market's proposal, which we provided. In the end, the commission faces two choices, and that's either to reject, and with the 1.9 arrears likely to be unrecoverable, as recovery will only be, can only be pursued, through legal means, and it will recover its undeveloped land. And in order to get another tenant, we would have to restart the RFP process for another tenant, but this time it will be under the 5-year law that is in effect, and or to accept Northern Market's proposal and consider the 1.9 arrears at recoverable within approximately 16 years or less, depending if the additional monthly payments of participation rent is more than 15,000, then it would be less. As well, the increase in value of the ancestral property will be with improvements and could substantially increase the earning potential of the current lease. So that is where we are at the moment. We have with us Ms. Jennifer Calvo representing Northern Market on the line. If there's any questions, we're open.
So just Marcy, Diego, Ms. Calvo, you want to add something?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for pushing this matter to the front of the agenda. I just had a couple of things to add to Diego's summary of the amendment that we have proposed and that we've discussed with AG Miller. There was an additional definition of, Diego mentioned that we'll be changing or increasing the participation rent from 2.5% to 50%. We also added a very specific definition of net operating income to clarify the commissioner's concerns about how we will be arriving at that percentage or participation rent. And then we also added a provision stating that Northern Market will use any construction financing reserves to pay down the construction deferment or the arrears. So throughout the lease or throughout the construction period, if we have surplus funds from the construction financing, we will use those to apply to the outstanding obligation. Aside from that, I think everything that was presented by Diego is pretty clearly set forth in the lease amendment. This is what we started to discuss at the working session, and then at the last or the April meeting, I believe. As he mentioned, we did increase we did set forth a monthly payment of 15,000 for the participation rent. You'll see in the lease amendment that it says 45,000 quarterly, and that's just to match the original language of the lease, which contemplates quarterly payments of the participation rent. So unless you have any questions, all of our revisions are set forth in the amendment, and we would like to get feedback from the commissioners and hopefully get this approved and move forward today.
I have a question.
Okay, Commissioner Cruz.
It's on that net operating profit, what is considered the expenses before you arrive at the net profit? So what would be normally considered as expenses?
Those would be, and if you refer, just to make it more clear, it's at the top of page 3. So that would mean all rent collected and then less expenses paid or related to the operation and maintenance of the property, such as taxes, any other assessments, insurance premiums, utility, payroll costs, any legal costs associated with the operation of the project, and administrative and property management fees. So typically things that are excluded would be, for example, like the property managers, like, overhead or kind of general costs that are not directly associated with the operation of the property. But this is kind of the most narrow definition that we could come up with to make sure that we're capturing, the full rental income that we're using to give the participation rent. And that was presented, I think, early on to AG Miller in the earlier version of the amendment, and I don't believe there were any revisions to that. So I guess any concerns you could direct to him as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, board members? I think the concern was like you know, the possibility of sneaking some expenses that brings down the net further. I think that's what the board was concerned about. I think I can see where Commissioner Cruz is coming from, but that's why we're thinking there's some kind of like a guideline or a general guideline that shows the expenses, then and then you got the net, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right, and I believe that was one of the early issues that were raised. So, I searched through kind of industry standard definitions, and that's why that was one of the first ones that we wanted to run by AG Miller, just to address the commissioner's concerns. And I think an additional point that we address in order to kind of confirm to the commissioners that the value of that is, like Diego said, we mentioned that there was a floor that was negotiated between the parties. So we agreed on 15,000. So Northern Market at the completion of the construction will resume base rental payments, which is the 27,000, with any escalation provided for in the lease. And on top of the base rent, we will start to pay the participation rent, which is a minimum of 15,000 per month, although that will be paid quarterly, as contemplated in the original lease agreement.
Okay, very good, very good. Diego, some other things you might want to add?
No, sir. I think Miss Jennifer pretty much added more to my summation, more clarification, more specifics. That's all I would add myself.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, before I get to you, Mr. Miller, I was about to get to you. Do you have any more to add as far as the pros and the cons, or you were very clear on the pros and the cons?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think he was directing that to you.
Yeah, that was for you, Diego.
Oh, okay. As stated, in your packet, in our analysis with the pros and cons, in a nutshell, rejecting the offer would mean that the current 1.9 will likely not be recoverable, especially because the only way to go through it, with a special purpose entity as this is going to have to be through litigation, and with no assets to go after, the likelihood is very, very, very low. However, accepting the proposal, the commission will still be able to recover. Recover is more likely. In as well as rejecting would also mean that we would have to restart the RFP process for the property. We would lose time and money for that, as the RFP process is now under the 5-year law, as well as another developer would have to restart the permitting process and all the reports that they would have to submit to the regulatory agencies. In our experience, that has become a little bit more challenging than it has been in the past. So that would mean even more time added on for securing another tenant and generating revenue. So in a nutshell, this is pretty much where we're at.
Do you mind?
Go ahead. With me, I also have our GITA administrator, Miss Melanie.
Half day commissioners, Mel Mendiola here from Guam Economic Development Authority. I also wanted to add with Diego's comments that earlier he did give you the floor of when we started off the discussions with Northern Market, there was no floor, just strictly an offer of a share of participation of net profit.
Yes.
But we believed that that would be a difficult number to ascertain, because all of the expenses that appear between the top line, your gross profit, and the bottom line, your net profit, could vary. And especially in the early years, you have a lot of, you may have a situation where you have like accelerated depreciation and so on and so forth. So this is why we insisted on a floor. And we also insisted on we wanted, we were interested in a floor that had the Guam and Central Lands Commission recovering the arrears in a lesser time than the remainder of the lease. So with a tenure of 40 years remaining, we didn't want it to take 40 years for them to pay you back, because you have factors such as inflation and the cost of money, basically. And so what we did was we said, if they, in our analysis, we said, if Northern Market went out and borrowed to pay these arrears today, what we believed right around the amount would be for them to obtain this financing. And if instead, can we collect the quote unquote interest on that by collecting for a specific period of time? How long would it take us to recover our arrears? And that's where we came up. That's where we came up on the analysis of the floor of 15,000. So coupled with what Diego had mentioned, the difficulty, of course, of a new lease, although that is your right as commissioners. And your call, if you'd like to take it to the market and you'd like us to go out and issue an RFP, Gita is ready and willing to assist with termination and doing the next steps. But we also wanted to increase the odds of being able to collect what was promised within the terms of the original lease, as well as recover arrears with a premium payment, basically for waiting for this rental payment for the period of time that you've been waiting. And that's all. Thank you. I'll be here if you have any questions on this as well, just sitting.
Any further questions for Ms. Calvo or Gita? Vice Chair?
I have a question, yeah. This question is for Ms. Calvo. What like your champ discussed with the tenants that are to be within the facility. What's this? Is it moving forward and they pretty much firm with the tenants that are going to make this a success?
Yes, so we did, I mean, this is probably since I think 2019, we did have letters of intent, and we've been trying to keep the communication open. Of course, there's been media coverage as well of, about the current situation. So we have, responded to inquiries about it, but because of the time, I think because we're so close, we haven't actually gone back to, just revisit our initial letters of intent and kind of tighten those up to, to be able to move forward. Unfortunately, there was one tenant that actually found an alternate facility. So we want to avoid that. Everyone's still, because of the location of the property and because of all the committed tenants, there still remains an interest and kind of, a tenant or a informal commitment on, square footage, location, basic rent. So we would like to keep those going, but, that was why we wanted to kind of get this addressed and resolved today, so that once we have an agreement in writing with Ancestral Lands, we can go back to those tenants, kind of renew our agreements with them, and avoid the loss that we did have with that, one tenant, which was, kind of a mid-sized tenant, but, to keep our main anchors that we had, the financial institution, also the group of restaurants, and then maybe a retailer. So that's the current tenant situation. But as soon as we get this locked in, then we can actually proceed. We didn't want to give them kind of a, and just kind of the draft of the agreement, or, without any real certainty. So that's the situation, but we have been communicating and kind of updating them on the status.
Thank you. My next question is for Diego. Diego, what is the total revenue at the end of the term of this lease that the Ancestral Lands will be gaining again? What's the total amount?
Wait a second, sir. Just on the lease, just lease payments alone. I'm gonna say, in approximation of 30,000 per month.
Okay.
That times 12, 360,000 a year, and times 40 years, roughly, we're looking at 14.4 million for just for lease payments alone. And then if we add the participation with strictly just the minimum guarantee of 15,000 a month. Let's see, 15,000 times 40. We're looking at an additional 7.2 million on top of that 14. So we're looking at upwards of above 20 some million. For the life of lease, and that's if the participation only yields the minimum. However, if the participation yields more than the minimum, we're looking at above 20 some million for the life of the lease.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can-
One more question for Gita before I go to legal counsel.
Yes, sir.
I know, are you basically in support of or neutral, or you're fine either way as our property managers? Can you give any type of comment on that, on your position?
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Chair, for that question. As always, Gita is here to support your decisions. We wanted to come up with whichever route that you do choose. We wanted to ensure that if you terminate the lease, we will be here for you, of course, to see you through that process. But if you stayed in the lease, we wanted to ensure that you were receiving you were receiving the best deal. And so that's how we performed our analysis. So either way, we want to support you. But the decision to stay or to terminate or to continue on is certainly yours. But we did also, when we did come up with the cash flow, the cash flow is a positive situation. It really, to me, the decision that falls on you is this decision today of going back to the market to lease out this property, or to stay on and continue to work with the tenant. And of course, you've had this has been a little bit of a bit of a rough history. So you have to kind of weigh the options, and that's really what we wanted to give you, just as much information as possible to make a well-informed decision. We're not in favor of one or the other. We're just here to support you and give you as much information as you can to be comfortable with whichever way you decide to go today.
Okay, very good. So you would be in support if we did approve the proposal. You would be in support of ancestral lands.
We would be, yes, sir. We would be in support if you, like I said, if either way you decide to go, if you decide to terminate, we'll be standing here with you to find the next tenant. And if you decide to press forward, we believe that this is when we presented the options, and we believe that this would result in positive cash flow. So if you decide to proceed, then yeah, of course, we'll support you either way, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. You just answered a lot of questions there. Okay, Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. From our perspective, the most important language in the lease is the language which says that the tenant needs to be coming out of the ground with construction by December 31st of this year. We've been talking about this possibility for a decade now, for a wide variety of reasons. It's taken us 10 years to get here, and we're still, sort of speculating on whether this is a good deal or not. The language which says, the tenant needs to be coming out of the ground in 6 months means on December 31st, either there's going to be a shopping center constructed there, and the commission is going to see some amount of money, or the market doesn't support the development, frankly, probably by anybody, of a shopping center at that location. And the commission will have to reevaluate what the highest and best use for that land is. So while yes, a vote today is still includes a certain amount of speculation, whether Northern Markets is really going to go forward and whether there's really going to be a shopping center there. By going forward today, you're voting for a date certain, although absolutely, Northern Markets has the right to request an extension on the drop dead date, and you have the right to accept or reject a request for an extension on the drop dead date. But we're going to know more or less by the end of the year whether this project is ever going to happen or not. And for us, we think that's a substantial positive and a reason to move forward today.
Okay, thank you, Liberal Counsel. Thank you. Ms. Calvo, you want to comment real quick on that drop dead date?
I mean, I don't have, I know that we discussed that earlier, and I did go through some revisions with Attorney Miller on that point, but like I had mentioned previously, we have obtained most of the clearances necessary for the permit. So we're confident that we can, get this started by the end of the year. But, as he mentioned, yes, there's, given the current situation that we're in with, interest rates, construction costs and everything, of course, that's why I think it's a great idea to have that drop dead date within the amendment. So this doesn't, kind of continue on, but that's our only concern. However, because of the work we've done with, spending, I think it was over $1 million on the plans for this project. We've discussed previously how kind of extensive the infrastructure is, from the sewer to, just putting in the streetlights, everything. So we just, as soon as we can get this approval, we can move forward with the permits and getting the few clearances that we do require, and also just paying the requisite amounts that are, to get those permits actually in place and just to start moving. But having the date of the end of the year to kind of do that, and subject to extension, which I think we have to request, I think at least 45 days prior to the end of the year, I think is a good start. And I think we've been able to document all the points that we can agree on and to the mutual satisfaction of both parties. And we would just submit on the revisions that our last round of revisions given to AG Miller, and that Gita has reviewed as well. So I think that's all on the amendment that we have for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, any other questions, board members, before we?
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Cruz.
Yes. Is it practical because of the years of, the number of extensions that or rent deferral that we had given Northern Market? Can we set a condition that, on the time frame that is stipulated on their amended lease? Let's say the mentioned date of December 31st. If that doesn't go through, and then maybe additional 30 days after that, are we going to be able to cancel the amendment? Just a thought.
They have at least 30 days to bring up some, a reason why that they probably need an extension. We're going to offer them that opportunity because, for all we know, it is legit. It might or might not be, but I think we have the prerogative whether to continue it or to end it. And they could make an extension, of course, and then it's still up to the board to consider it. So the drop dead date is December 31st. I understand that, Diego, that was correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Rios? No questions?
I just would like to comment. That's okay.
Okay, sure. You got the floor.
thinking about the years and the time it takes to get something like this going. You know, I've mentioned this, we have been talking about this since I think I got on board here 2 years ago now. And I've said it once and I say it again, I really love to be here for something this big to happen while a board member, so that can, you know, really see something really big happen while you know, while we're here. It's a really nice project. I really would love to see it happen. But yeah, thinking about the timelines of trying to do something like this again and putting this through the legislature, I think it's going to be really, really, really tough. I think marking 10 years now doing this, and we have 40 years left on this, I think there's still a sweet spot for this thing to come to life and happen. I think absolutely anything less than 30 years, I think, would be an absolute cutoff on a project for anybody who to invest in anything that doesn't have 30 years. 30 years is a pretty magical number for a lot of investors. So I think with 40 years left, I think there's still potential for something good to happen with this project. And you know, looking at the returns to be closely $20 million, including participation rent. I think if we went to the legislature right now, we ended this lease today and we went to the legislature, we wouldn't have another lease for 5 years, realistically, back and forth, trying to figure out and understand someone else's plan. So, you know, it's a tough one, and I'm sure some people might have some different thoughts about this moving forward. But I think the ones who understand how difficult it is to put something like this on paper and actually move forward with it, I can see it. They'll appreciate, I think. And I think this thing, if it does work out, man, it's gonna be we'll have a little change of heart in how we're gonna stand proud with this project if it works out. So that's just my opinion on it. But at the end of the day, we still got to vote on it, right? But thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rios. I totally concur with your thoughts on the matter. Anybody else? Any further questions? Well, seeing that we do have somewhat of a concurrence with Gita and our legal counsel, I'm thinking we move forward. If no further questions, let's move forward. Can we get a motion on the floor? Vice Chair. Vice Chair.
Okay, with that, I so move to approve the lease agreement and with its all the what was mentioned and within the report, and we move forward with it. Yeah.
Okay, motion to approve the amendments to the lease. That's correct, right? Diego, these are the amendments?
Yes, sir.
Chairman will need a second.
Proposed amendment placed before
Yeah,
the board.
proposed amendment. Okay, so we need a second.
I second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Rios. Discussion. Kathy?
Sir, I don't have a discussion or anything. I just wanted to technicality. This is not the first amendment. This is the second amendment. The first amendment was the description, the property description. So this amendment would be the second amendment to the original contract. Just one
Okay.
technicality, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, I would like
think
to
the
amend.
amendment-
Okay, I would amend my motion to be the second amendment and to approve the movement of the lease.
Gita and Vice and legal counsel, is that correct? Just the second amendment, or is it all amendments?
The motion for today would be the motion to accept the amendment as proposed that is in front of the commission. Yes, Kathy, technically, yes, Miss Kathy is correct. The original first amendment was a correction to the lot description number. And as far as like the moving forward, this is technically the second amendment as proposed to the commission today.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Kathy, for that clarification. Okay,
One
Jeff,
moment, are we still in discussion? Before we go to
Uh,
vote?
well, I like to first, because there's an amendment to the motion. I'd like to see if Jeff, Commissioner Rios would still like to second.
Sure. Yes.
It's still seconded. Okay, we're still in,
Second, so,
we're still in
thank you.
discussion now. It's
Okay.
seconded. by
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Rios. Okay.
Has our attorney thoroughly reviewed, don't mean to insult, but has thoroughly reviewed, I think we will have the Gita attorney and our Guam ancestral land attorney. In the past, they both review this kind of leases, so has that been thoroughly reviewed by both attorneys?
Mr. Chairman, members, I certainly have reviewed the amendment that's in front of you today, and we find it legally sufficient.
The Gita attorney has not reviewed our recommendation, I guess, and our discussion that we set forth to you, our analysis. But as you're aware, Gita is not a party on the contract, and your attorney's responsibility is to look out for you, whereas our attorney's responsibility is to look out for Gita.
So yes, Commissioner Cruz, our legal counsel, has thoroughly reviewed the proposal.
Okay,
As a
thank
matter
you.
of fact, he did send me a few
Comments?
notes on the proposal in the last few weeks.
All
So
right,
he has.
thank you.
I like to commend our legal counsel for his thoroughness in looking over this proposal and all our other proposals.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, any further discussions? Okay, let's vote. Vice Chair. Ron McGuire.
Approved.
Approved. Commissioner Lino.
I guess with the approval, it more than likely our legal counsel has satisfied that amendments, the second amendment. So I'm looking at, we should give it a try. But the only one thing that I do not like is if we do not accept this and we shall go to do a then like
Yeah, you can't. It's too late now.
no.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and vote for it, but I'm saying that's just the only part that I don't like.
Okay, so you're just making it clear the process of having to redo the RFP. That's the part that you dislike or you don't see you're in favor of.
No,
Okay,
I'm not.
understood. So your vote is
Yeah, I'll go ahead with the
so your vote.
approval.
So you're approved.
Oh,
Okay, Commissioner Aline, I didn't hear you. I didn't get your vote is.
yes.
Oh, you approve. Okay, Commissioner Cruz.
Yes, approved.
Approved. Okay. Commissioner Rios,
yes, approved.
and I approve. So Joey, Kat, proposal passes. The motion passes. Ms. Calvo, Gita, thank you very much for your presentation today. Legal counsel, si Jus Masi, for your tenacity and your work. Si Jus Masi. Motion
Mr.
passes.
Chair,
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Calvo.
Thank you. Really quick, I just wanted to thank all of you, Attorney Miller, for his prompt attention to this. I know this is, as Commissioner Rios mentioned, this has been a very long project. It actually kind of predated my involvement with Northern Market. Unfortunately, Carlos Camacho was unable to be with us to kind of see through this final part, but of course we'll let him know quickly that that we finally got it approved. So I just appreciate your patience. I appreciate, we've had to go through various development plans, construction plans, just general plans with the lease. we truly appreciate the commissioner's patience in kind of sticking with us and, having the faith in this project. And, we're very hopeful that we can get this going by the end of the year. Like I said, once we can kind of regroup and get back to the permit application, we're ready to hit the ground running with that and kind of talk to the tenants and get everyone's commitments renewed and get that lined up so we can, finally break ground. Of course, we look forward to having that kind of moment with you. So just on behalf of all the members of Northern Market, thank you very much. This has not been an easy process. Thank you for your flexibility, your creativity in the solutions. Also, I'd like to thank Gita for also kind of entertaining the various solutions to this issue. I think this is, like I said, a mutually beneficial resolution. We hope that the commission will be thankful and appreciate, the work that we've put into this, and we all look forward to getting this going and just moving forward kind of as kind of partners and kind of increasing the revenue for the commission and just bringing this development and the employment opportunities to especially to GIGO and to that area of the north in Guam, which is kind of booming with development now. So we look forward on kind of capitalizing on that as well. So thank you again very much. We're very grateful and just thank you for all of your time and kind of reviewing all the documents to get this done.
And thank you for your presentation today. And we wish you all the best of luck in as a partner in this project.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Gita, board members. Okay, Commissioner Erlino, I want to thank you for sticking it out. I know it's a little bit longer than what I expected, but thank you for hanging and sticking with us on such important. But you're excused if you need to go and rest.
Go and rest, Commissioner Orlino.
On second thought, I'll stay on because I need to around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. If you're feeling bad, just let us know. And okay, we're good to go.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, so let's go back to I believe that's item 5. Gita progress report.
Half day, everyone. Hi, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, half day. My name is Megan Obispo, and I'll be presenting the Gita monthly progress report. The following is a progress report on Gita's efforts to manage land bank trust properties as required by Section 1 of the MOU between Gita and GALC Land Bank Trust. Starting off with Northern Market, they have a monthly rent of $27,154.51 and an outstanding balance of $1,912,049.32. Their last payment was received on February 8th of 2023. And their lease amendment as well as the timeline and summary were attached for the board to review and approve. Moving on to Quick Space, their monthly rent is $4,029.02. And their last payment was received on May 5th or May 10th of 2024. We are currently pending their June 2024 payment. Matson, they have a monthly rent of $27,733. Their last payment was received on June 10th, and they have an outstanding balance of $0. Van Steel, their monthly rent is $500, and their outstanding balance is $5,000. Their last payment was received on May 15th, 2024, in the amount of $2,000. We are also pending their June 2024 payment. AT&T, they have a monthly rent of $22,939.42. Their last payment was received on June 4th, and they have an outstanding balance of $0. Pending legislature passage of legislation provided by GALC for AT&T extension on terms of their lease. Moving on to Smithbridge, they have a monthly rent of $8,800 and an outstanding balance of $0. Their last payment was received on June 4th, 2024. Farmers Cooperative Association of Guam, we are still pending their submission of CY 2023 certified financial statements to determine their annual lease. We made follow-ups on the 8th of May and also the 20th, but the last follow-up we made was on May 30th. As per Sharon, she said that it is still being revised and approved by the FCAG president. Tizen Properties, Guam Environmental Protection Agency, they have a monthly rent of 8,000 and an outstanding balance of 312,000. Their last payment was received on February 1st, 2024. And reconciliation of accounts are still ongoing. We're hoping to have that finalized soon. DPHSS WIC, they have a monthly rent of 8,400 and an outstanding balance of 20,699 and 35 cents. GITA received a lump sum payment of 25,200 on April 12th, 2024, but their last payment that we received was in the amount of 8,400 received on May 2nd. Moving on to other items, the F12 Polaris mitigation plan. We do have an update per Mr. Dan Swagley. He said that Smithbridge finished the clearing plan via TG engineers. The permit processing began last week by Kyle Borja. He also mentioned that the clearing and mitigation will occur simultaneously with PCR environmental. GALC owned lots, lot 5175-1 REM and lot 5182-1 REM. The DON is attached for the GALC board to review and approve. And that concludes the GITA monthly progress report. Should you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Megan. Sujus Masi. Any questions, board member?
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair?
Yes, Megan, do you have an update with the regards to Dan Swavely's request with the staging area? That was a couple of months ago. I think that was for an amount of how many days? Can you clarify that? He requested to for a staging area.
I do not have an update, but I can get back to you on that. I would have to
Yeah,
confer with.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Also.
perhaps with Diego. Yeah.
Okay.
Half a day, sir. Yes, Dan Swavely from Smithbridge did make a request. However, nothing panned out of it. I guess Smithbridge eventually found another arrangement to make. They did not use the property for staging. Originally, were requesting at the time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, thank you, Gita, for your report. Sujus Masi. Let's move down to, we're still now back on old business for item 6, old business B, determination of need. The Don Tizen Properties.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair. This is Diego again. The determination of need. This was discussed in I believe 2 or 3 meetings ago. This is really just the determination of need for the 3 house properties in Tizen. You know, we had made the request, but as Ms. I think it was Joey let us know that, you know, this had to be done in as a resolution of the board before it is submitted. So this is just I guess clearing up you know, this administrative step. So this is the same determination of need that Gita had presented to the commission 2 meetings ago. And so you know, this is for formal approval of the commission before we submit it to the legislature to start the RFP process for you know, trying to go for a lease for this property.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Commissioners, any comments on that? Mr. Rios? I know you made some comments real quick about that same area up at Tizen.
Oh yeah, I did some time ago, and there's still a car parked in the garage there. I don't know whose car that is. It's still there. I've done
Yeah.
done a couple dog rescue missions over there a while back. Yeah, I drive by there about
Yeah.
every, like about 5 days a week or so. I do a drive by there.
Check if he's living there.
I was going to,
I
but
was too.
I want to go there with some arsenal. You know what I mean? I want to go with some-
I agree because he's already
Yeah.
staying. He has a sign
Yeah.
that says "Keep
He's-
out."
He's telling even us to keep out of our
Yeah.
property. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
definitely
hazard.
like to, get that thing squared away. We look like
Yeah.
slumlords with that place. We need to clean that up.
Yeah, okay, so Diego, can you just a couple of finer points on that, on the Don real quick, on what we're asking? Just a couple of points on it. Oh, you're still on mute?
Sorry.
Yeah,
The DON is just it's just a determination of need for an exceptional term contract. This document simply is a notification to the legislature, which is part of the RFP process. We're letting the legislature know about the property, all of its,
okay.
particulars, where it's at, everything. And just letting them know that the Ancestral Lands intends to go out with an RFP for this property, hopefully more than 5 years. So it's really, sir, it's just a step in the RFP process.
Okay, so
As
basically
prescribed,
right
yeah.
now, we just need to approve the Don right now.
Yes, sir. It's
Right,
just to approve it, and so that we can submit it and let the legislature know that
Okay,
we intend to hopefully get a lease. And
Okay.
it's just to start the RFP process. That's all it
okay,
is.
yeah, okay, good. So commissioners, this is not the RFP process yet. I mean, to start RFP going out, this is just the Don being sent to the legislature by Gita. So if we can get a motion, unless there's an objection, let's get a motion on the floor and second it and passed.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by the vice chair. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Rios. Discussion? Okay, I take it no discussion. Let's vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays? Okay, Joey?
Oh, still
Gita?
on.
Pat? Motion passes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We will now be able to submit this to the legislature to start the RFP process for this property. Thank you.
Okay. So Juice Mossy. Okay, we move down to number 7, new business.
Mr. Chairman?
Vice Chair?
Yeah, I just would like to find out, are we now opening up our ability now to do RFPs on our properties?
Oh, yes. Yes, we're gonna start moving in
Okay,
and moving to develop our properties. Yes.
okay. So do you have an update as to what particular lands that are up in the on the radar?
Yeah, we still have an ongoing situation where we're trying to look and see about our land exchange. That makes a difference on the matter, and if it's not successful, then we just RFP what we got. But hopefully we can try to resolve the issues with CLTC regarding those lands that are being leased that actually belongs to ancestral lands. And so maybe we can formalize a land exchange. We're in the process of looking at it right now. Who knows where that's going to go? Hopefully it's going to benefit both agencies, I think. We're the same recipients somewhat, so let's see how that goes. But I'd like to start RFPing our properties out. So we'll have discussions on that more, but Gita, we're ready to start moving on our properties.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And Vice Chair, thank you for that that comment.
The reminder.
Yes, the reminder button. And let's move on our commercial properties. So new business? No new business? Joey and
No, sir.
Cap, none, right? Okay. So we're down to public comments.
Nothing, sir.
Okay, nothing. Oh, Joey?
Yeah, I just wanted to wish the Vice Chair and Commissioner Rios happy birthday, since we won't be able to celebrate with them.
Oh,
That's
all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yes, it's just
Let's
Mossy,
see.
right on, Miss
Let's
Joey,
see.
you remember?
You're good, Joey.
and then
Yeah,
yeah, we may be getting a possible claimant to file a claim on one of the properties in PD. So
Oh, very
hopefully we'll
good.
be having a title hearing soon.
Oh, very good, very good.
Rana Zuzu is assisting the family, and so hopefully by this year we'll have a title hearing.
Okay, very good, very good. That's awesome. Man, it's been a long time since we had a title hearing.
2 years ago.
Once again, it was a couple of years?
2 years.
3 years, wow. We were doing every month at one time, month after, yeah, just,
Oh,
no, twice a
yeah,
month.
well, Mr. Chairman, while we're there at it, we made an additional effort to do announcements again. Remember, we have to continue the efforts for finding these
Yeah, for finding,
the
yeah.
heirs. Also, no, by the way, you know, did you see the development up there in Tizen? Those housings there, I believe those were purchased by a buyer that bought all those 6 or 7 houses there.
Wow, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that yet, right, Mr.
gotta go.
Commissioner Rios?
I gotta go up there and see that.
Yeah, they
I did.
refurbished about 6 or 7 homes there. I want to know if that belongs to the late Lydia. What's her name? She used to be with the Guam Landowners Association. She used to own IJKL. That's how we knew her from. We after she got her lands, about a year later she passed on. So she owned all those units from IJKL. I remember. So I believe those are hers and her family.
What side of Tijen is it at?
Right there on the right along the runway passage. Was that
Yeah.
the main road? That's,
Wow.
yeah,
Down
you
the,
haven't
down the
seen
street
that?
from us. Yeah.
Right. 7 houses. And they even cleared the view, and those are multi-million-dollar views right now.
Wow, nice. Also, I'd like to once again take this opportunity to welcome aboard again Peter Mafnas, welcome aboard, and Tina Tainatongo, welcome aboard.
Right on.
I know a bunch of Tainatongos from Maritzo. My uncle Erine Eclevea married a Tainatongo from Maritzo. Wanna
My
pass the
family's from
coffee?
PD, yes. We're all
Okay.
related.
You're related, right? Yeah, one
Yes.
family, right? Again, welcome, guys. Welcome aboard.
All right.
Thank you.
Staff, thank you very much. Kathy, Joey, you guys are doing an exceptional job. So Juice Mossy, I mean, the director would be proud you guys are holding the fort down very well. So Juice Mossy. Thank you again, Commissioner Cruz, Commissioner Lino, for making the meeting. I hope things went well with you, Commissioner Cruz. Regarding that matter we were talking about, I really wish you well on that. Hope it went well.
Thank you.
Okay. So where are we at now? We're down at next GLC meeting. Kat, you're gonna schedule the special meeting for the investments.
Yes, sir. I'll get with BGIS and Raymond James and get their availability, and we'll
Okay.
see if we can schedule something for the 12th. I mean, the 26th, I'm sorry.
The 26th. Okay, board members, 26. Go ahead and chime in, maybe in the next couple of days if you're good with the 26. I'm good with the 26.
26 is good for me.
Okay. I'll get with
Okay.
them and then I'll get with everybody.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So the next meeting would be May 26th.
June 26th.
I'm sorry, June 26th, June 26th?
June 26th.
2020
Yes, sir.
June 26th, 2024. Okay, and you're gonna double check on that certificate of appreciation or the retirement appreciation for
For Teresa.
Yeah.
okay,
Yes, sir.
motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, it's 3:29 PM.